on the agenda is to sign the warrants. So I need oh, great, good. Need a motion to sign the warrants?
So moved.
Second,
Dan?
Second.
all in favor? Okay. We'll wait on that, we'll wait till Joanne gets her. We just ducky. Yes, you need your stamp, I know.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right, we're
Just
glad you got
started,
here
just
safe and
started.
sound.
I needed you, so I'm glad you're here.
There you go.
Okay, let's see now.
Say no, Dan.
Yeah.
So next on the agenda is to approve the minutes of May 12th. We'll do May 12th first in chronological order. This was a special select board meeting to sign the warrant for our special town meeting. So
Make a motion.
make a motion to accept.
Accept the minutes of May 12th.
Second.
All in favor? Now we need to accept the minutes of May 17th as written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Do we have minutes to our special select board meeting? Or the town meeting, do we not have to accept the town meeting, special town meeting minutes?
We'll put on the next
Okay.
agenda.
All right, then. And then we'll have to accept the minutes of, this is where you let me sign for the grant on May 22nd.
Yeah, so moved.
Second, all in favor? Minutes and minutes. Just to let you know that the Brantfords are still working on, with their lawyer, the right way of gifting that piece of property on the S-curves to us, and we'll be voting on that at town meeting. So
This is number one.
this is old business,
Okay, number one.
of old business.
Yes.
New business. We are gonna skip to number 4 for the first, since Maureen is here from the bank, we thought we'd let her go first. So, you're up. Yes. We'll get you some chairs.
We can break it.
Oh, we love this.
We love three things.
Yeah.
Huh? We love three things.
Yes.
I do too, so. I'm Lisa, I'm the regional market manager.
I Rachel will do it.
Carolyn, nice to meet you.
And you all know me, yes?
Yes, we do.
No,
We sit on many boards.
Well, we'd like to thank you for inviting us here tonight and have a chance to speak with you, and we also want to thank you for the long relationship that we've had with you for many, many years, and we hope to continue that. So, what we'd like to do first is review what you currently have, and then there's a couple of different options that we have for you. And, yes, we can each give you a copy and make sure if you, and then if you have questions, we'll try our best to answer them. We met with Renee, I think it was May 17th, and kind of reviewed this proposal, according to that, and so she has a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about, hopefully, and a chance to think about it. Currently, the town has 2 non-profit business checking accounts and 1 easy business checking. The general fund, which is your largest deposit account, though, is tied to a repurchase agreement account that pays a rate on the base account, which currently has a threshold of $25,000. Everything above that sweeps at night into a repurchase agreement. which is paid another rate. Currently, that does generate a daily notice, which, you know, you don't really like all that well. And so, hopefully, one of these other options will take care of that. Those funds are secured by securities that are purchased above and beyond FDIC insurance. The base account is covered by FDIC insurance. We adjust those according to your balances and watch that. The current rate for the base account is 0.21%. For everything that sweeps at night is 0.27. We are proposing that if you stay with this current structure of the repurchase agreement, that we would increase that rate to 0.85% annual percentage yield on everything that sweeps at night in the larger repurchase agreement. And on the base account, it would be 0.55% for that 25,000 threshold. Again, the $50 a month fee is waived as it has been for the town. That would continue. And so.
Was that monthly?
Yes, and we've always waived that, and that will continue. This is the current structure that you're in, but we do have two other options, and you know, Lisa will talk about those a little bit, and we really think that they're more convenient and more simple, so we hope that one of them appeals to you. But this option remains, and we will offer this on for free.
One of the accounts that we wanted to talk to you about was the ICS account, which I believe is one of the two offered to you from us. You have had that with us in the past. You used it for, what was it?
It was a designated fund for a project that you put in there for a while, and once you use those, it's that empty, and
You decided to close it. What I would like to propose, which I think will be
Is
a
that the
lot.
one we just closed? Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. What I would like to propose is a joint custody account. And what that is the bank purchased securities, held in the bank's name, but we put in your name through the Federal Reserve Bank. With this, what happens is anything, the securities we watch what's in your operating account. So if your operating account went over the securities that we purchased for you, it's our job to keep an eye on it daily, and what we do, we adjust that for you. It's not your responsibility to make sure you're in trade. That's the bank's responsibility.
My understanding is any account has a $250,000 limit, or has it been raised? That's the last one.
that's what FDIC coverage is, but we
And that's
purchase
per account
securities.
per bank, or per bank, no matter how many accounts you have?
Doesn't really apply to us because we do something different from us. We buy securities for you, is what this account is about, and that's gonna make sure that all your funds are covered. If you have, we'll
So
have.
the bank is insuring the money?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. If for some reason, and you don't get daily notices on that, the rate that would be in your operating account would be 0.85. That's for all deposits. There's no contract here. That's what we're going to give you. And what we do is we'll look at this quarterly to see where the rates are, see if we can raise them for you. But you'll never go
So no
lower.
penalty to change the rate
No.
if the prime goes up?
No.
This operates as a checking account too, so you don't have to, there's no sweep involved or anything, you just operate as a checking account. But the securities that are purchased cover any CD savings or any other type of account that it covers your entire deposit balances, and you can change those. So that's all covered. But the general fund doesn't have that sweep.
And the sweep is to get it at a higher interest.
Yes.
And which was that, what was that interest rate before?
She said it was 0.27.
So now what we want to do is put it all in
Just
one.
put it all in one and just guarantee that way, and then go on a quarterly review to see if it hopefully goes up.
We're hoping.
Hoping the economy gets better. And that was, and you had another option as well? Or
That was the
one?
option that we think from listening to Renee and having a conversation, that would be the most simplified for you and make it so you're not responsible to make sure you're insured. That's the bank's responsibility to make sure of that. The other account, was the ICS that we were talking about that you closed.
Right, oh, okay.
So that is an option, but we didn't think that was something that you'd be interested in at this time.
So it's kind of like a little umbrella policy that you'd have in an insurance company, you've got all your different variables put in one,
Securities,
over.
all the accounts.
so it would end up on one statement, or?
Been pretty
Would
good.
would it be simplified for Suzette and Renee to understand?
The joint custody account?
Yes.
Absolutely. So it would be on one statement, you would see the point eight
It
five.
didn't
we
sound too
would
much
be-
like a divorce, you know?
We would notify you that if we needed to buy more securities, we would let you know that we're going to do that. If we needed, if you were over collateralized, we would notify you of that also.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
All right, well,
that's great.
that sounds like you've done a lot of thought and
And there's no contract.
There's no
No
contract.
contract and free checks for 3 years.
Free ACH services for the next 3 years as well. And hopefully, you know, we can continue the relationship that we've had, certainly as our,
We've had a wonderful relationship, really. We want you to know.
well, as our branch, we like to volunteer and help out the community as well, and so we've been involved with a lot of things.
Yes.
Marathon,
Yes.
all kinds of
Yes,
stuff.
we are a sponsor of the 10K at the marathon, which we have enjoyed,
Yes.
and the refueling station.
and we made a refueling station.
Yes.
So we're gonna be there again this year,
All right.
looking forward to it.
For Community Day, we believe everywhere that we, I mean, I know we have 49 branches now,
Yes,
but
I was
everywhere
wondering, 49 branches.
Yeah.
Yes, because that includes the new ones you just got?
in New Hampshire, Vermont.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Are you gonna be at the marathon, Jackie?
yes,
Good.
Lisa, yes.
Good.
Any other questions?
Oh, this is good. This is pretty good, pretty clear. Yeah, good. And you're going to get back to them?
Well,
Yeah.
with our approval.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know where to find us.
I do, yeah.
Thank you very much, we appreciate it.
We also want to thank you for all your thank you little luncheons for the town. I think that's a wonderful touch.
Really wonderful
The
thing,
town
yes.
appreciates it. I think a lot of people look forward to it.
When is the next customer appreciation?
Oh,
We
I was looking for a free lunch.
We're working on our date, we
Gotta
haven't.
get there
Oh,
early
okay.
if you wanna see.
No.
Lisa, what is your last name? Beasley. Beasley, just like the town.
Yeah.
V-E-A-Z-I-A.
Thank you, Maureen, have a nice night.
Thank you.
girls.
Thank you very much, very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
That's
okay.
All right. Now, what was that? We have to revise the liquor policy, so you'll see in your next handout, Renee has gone through all the things that won't apply now, and it's looking like, that the only thing that will apply and procedures would be, in page 2, application, the application must be completed when submitted to the town office. This includes the diagram of the area where alcohol is to be consumed. The diagram must include all areas inside. Failure to submit a completed application will result in delaying the process. This policy is dedicated to establishing a procedure to record and evaluate liquor license applications. I know I don't think I discussed this with Renee, but
I wanted to bring this, if you wanted to add in, like, to make sure that it's on the selectmen's agenda, this is where it's to be written in. I know it was mentioned in the public comment.
right, that it needs to be,
So this is your chance to adjust it
I
how you
also think
want
that
it.
there should be a $25 fee. I think that we sign off, we take our time, and I think that permits, we're gonna entertain a $25 fee for Stockford Park. The state gets thousands of dollars, and they have to come to us, and we have to sit and sign them off, and it goes to some sort of fund, maybe a fund to help, you know, for the drug awareness, I don't know, some positive,
Yes,
some positive reason, we're not
yeah,
just to
to
take the
offset
money.
other costs.
Offset,
Mhm.
So
underage drinking possibly, or just something
some of
else.
these renewals now do not need, they don't need to come
Public
in
hearing.
annually unless, does it
That's
need to be
right.
written in what the unless is?
No, they have to come in
Maybe
annually.
annually, but they don't have to have a public hearing,
Yeah,
that's what it went,
yeah.
Okay,
we were able to find out.
right, that you don't need that.
But we also are responsible to evaluate the licensees' applications and renewals, and I think that, I don't know, what do you think of that?
I think it's fine. I think it's a good idea. You know, we spend a lot of time going over these
Yes,
things.
and we go 5 or 6 of them, I
Yeah,
don't think it's
and
cost
it's-
prohibitive, and I
yeah.
think if it goes to a worthy cause, they would not, it
That's
would
right.
not be.
I think it's fine.
What do you think, Tony?
I don't queue where should it be.
Say it again, Tony.
I said it's on cue, where it should be,
Yes, yeah,
how it should be.
very well put, Tony,
Pardon?
very well
What did we
put.
say? Yeah.
Who would like to recap
She wants you
that?
to spell Q.
Are you doing a fee? Is there a motion?
Yes,
We make a motion,
yeah, I'll move that we, charge a fee for this process, $25.
Do you wanna make it earmark it for something in particular, or just go into the general
I
fund?
think I should go into the general fund,
Administrative thing.
yeah.
Administrative fee, that's good to know. Because we do the copies and everything, and read it and review it, and we've caught a lot of, things left out, like drawings. And
New and renewal.
I see that there's something in there that you're not saying, Joanne.
Isn't that funny how you know that I'm?
Oh,
No.
come on. You speak.
I'm against it only because these people have to pay a really big fee for their license. And they put a lot of taxes into the town. And that's the only reason I'm against it.
Okay, well, that's a very good point. Maybe there shouldn't be a permit.
I mean,
What if-
we can do it, that's fine, but I just feel that, they paid a lot of fee for a license and they put a lot of taxes into the town, so I just.
Tony?
I'm still for it, only because I know from other towns and other jurisdictions in the state particularly, they have subsequent fees for certain permits. And among them aware from a tax experience as a plumbing inspector, many towns and most towns have a town fee that's charged in addition to the state fees.
I see your point, Joanne. It's probably, we're gonna be discussing a $25 permit on the use of parks in a minute, which was brought up by, I think, Fred, wanted some rules and regulations on that. Dan? What do you think? Everybody needs to weigh in, that's part of your job.
I think we should continue to be proactive with business, and I think there are enough people and processes sticking their hand in the till and hardworking business people, and if town friendly, we can, it's like those 99-cent typing fees that Verizon and everybody else does. It's just not necessary, and I don't think it needs to be.
Okay, so we'll just keep our, review the applications and let the state take the money. That's what we should do. We should have been getting the $25 from the state, from out of the money.
That's right, I agree
It's
with
the
that.
state, yeah, that's the thing. It's the state gets all the money, and some of that should come back to the municipalities,
be a
because we
kickback
review
to
the
the town.
applications. I was probably suggesting to the wrong person.
Yeah,
That's it.
There's a motion on the floor.
I have, yes, so we will, we like to rephrase the motion that we will not, let's just fix
It
this.
has not been seconded. So
No,
we can
we did
go
not
on.
second, I'm like, yeah, we didn't second it. So let's just fix the, you said you wanted to put a-
Donations, by all means, would be accepted.
I think you're right. We
Do
spent-
you wanna put a limit on, like, they have to have the applications in a
Yes, we
certain
had to
time to
review
get
it
it on
3 different
the
times on one person
agenda.
that didn't come in. So, I mean,
That's
you
right.
need to do it in a timely manner, show up, fill it out
No.
correctly.
Fortunately, they're not
And
open.
they need to be here
Mhm.
when they,
Yeah.
we've had to chase people around, had to be up here. So how else is it supposed to be worded? Because we've wiped everything else, there's
No,
nothing
there's
left in the
nothing
policy.
That's why I
So you
to
have to do
bring
the
it.
application, and then after that, you need to say, presented, put on, and then it needs to be put on the select board agenda in a timely manner. They can't just come in the day before and manage to get on there.
We'll charge them $25, charge them to show up.
Timely manner, or do we need to define that?
No, timely manner would be,
I think you need to define it.
as to what?
When
Give
do you
them
go
a
to
week,
print?
give them 7 days.
Yeah, yeah.
We have the agenda done by Monday before the select board meeting, but sometimes it's full a week before. We can't put any more in.
So
And-
Friday before the,
So the Friday
let's do
before.
Friday
Well,
before
first
the
of all,
selectmen's meeting.
you don't have to do any advertisements anymore, so they don't even have to pay for, so now they've just saved $17 as they used to have to pay for the ad. So you've actually saved the money.
So the Friday before the select meeting.
At the very latest, because
At the
usually the
latest.
agenda, we start the agenda the day after this, like tomorrow morning, we'll start the agenda for the following meeting, the Friday before,
Friday before the select board, okay.
with it, all the paperwork done, and no fee now. And that one for the select board.
Don't let it get around.
No. All right, so we need a motion that will change the policy to strike all the crossed out lines, and then just put in one page of objective, application, and requirements. That section should be called requirements. Requirements are to hand in the completed application to be put on the select board on or before the Friday,
Before the meeting.
on or before the Friday, on the,
Prior to select. Week, whatever you call it.
Prior to
Before
the
this- if you want, if they can do it.
Wednesday. Select meeting.
I don't know if we have the exact wording, but I'll make sure.
Subject to fines to be determined by Joanne.
Well, you just don't okay.
Thank you, Dean.
I do think though, we did have a situation where I think we had to redo it, we had to do it again, they didn't show up, we had to
Yeah,
re-put
they-
an ad
yeah.
in, we had to sit and hear it again.
Mhm.
So there should be that, you get one free application, and if you don't show up, we have to chase you around maybe.
So
But
that needs
I
to be in the
guess maybe
policy.
that's when
Yes.
you should
That
get
you-
your fee.
That's where you get.
Well, that's
paid.
it, yeah.
Like,
So
You mean like a
$25,
punitive fee.
no, just, hit the, $25 fee then.
Oh, you think it's
Incorrect
something
or-
if you have to be
license didn't show up,
reprocessed,
right?
Yes.
how about that? If it
That's
has to be reprocessed, you
Yeah.
like that?
$25 fee for
Yeah.
second
Reprocessing.
time around.
Right.
Okay,
So
got it.
applicant or representative must be present at meeting.
Yeah, so we can't be chasing them around like we did. We call them up, where are you? And if you just don't come, then you're gonna give them the actual day and time they have to be there.
Kristen the job, we'll make him go find it.
All right, that's a good compromise. Then we need a motion and a vote on that?
Right.
Joanne,
Yes, dear.
can you do it?
Go ahead.
You'd like me to repeat all that?
Yeah,
Well,
just
you
say-
say
Would
so
you do that,
moved.
please?
To make a motion on all that, I
All
think is
that,
what she said.
all that, yeah.
The rewording of the policy plus
As previously stated.
a reprocessing fee if we have to do it
Right,
twice.
of $25 if we're doing it the second time around.
That
And
sounds
they
good.
all, they all know that if they're not here, I mean,
I know, it doesn't mean they forget.
yeah.
As long as they know the first time is out, it covers.
Mm.
Yeah.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Oh, it's just a light bulb. Absentee ballots are available June 13th.
Correct.
Anything that you need to
No,
say
no,
about
no,
that?
no, sorry. No, absentee ballots are available now for the June 13th
Oh.
Vote.
referendum
Yeah.
question. Yes, there's one question on the
Okay,
ballot.
absentee ballots are available now for the
Yes.
June 13th referendum. Do you have a brief synopsis of the referendum? I have had people ask me, and I'm like, I haven't even seen it.
I'll bring it up at public comment. I'll go get it.
Okay, good, let's read that, because I'm not sure what that is. Nomination papers are available now. We're looking for 2 selectmen for a term of 3 years. We're looking for 2 school board members, 1 for 3 years, 1 for 1 year. We're looking for a water district trustee for 3 years. And we're looking for 2 budget committee members, 1 for 3 years and 1 for 2 years. Any interested parties, it's not too late to get your papers. They just have to be in by June 19th with a minimum of 25 registered voters' signatures.
Do we have anybody that they can think is that interested?
We have plenty of people
For which one?
interested in which one though, but we
No,
don't have
I'm
any in
just-
budget.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to tell the people out there that there are people.
And school board.
Really?
We do have somebody for selectmen, water district, well, I don't know, I'm hearing, I don't know if it's been turned in. Budget committee, I don't think we have anybody that is such a
Fun place.
fun place to be. We need like serve pizza in that meeting or something.
So we do have people for selectmen and for schools
Mhm.
so far.
Mhm.
Okay, we'd like to have everybody else who's out there interested.
Okay. Barnharbor King, tax acquired property, you'll see in your little packets. Not to mention, is this public knowledge now that it's in foreclosure?
It's
Are we
already
gonna
been foreclosed
mention
on.
this?
It's gonna be
Okay.
going on our website.
So that we have, well, in what way?
Once you've decided on what to do
Well,
tonight,
once we decided.
they'll go on, we have a tax acquired property tab on our website. We'll have packets available here.
So this is basically, do any of these properties actually have property on them? I think
Buildings?
North Lubec does. Well, 1025 has a home, right? Then there's a lot of lots, correct?
One Tavern Drive also has a building on it. The
Where-
former Hilltop Restaurant
Mhm.
west of that.
Okay, right. And that's separate, okay, that's a building, but that building is not livable, that's not a livable building.
That was a commercial,
That's not, I wouldn't say that that's
All
livable.
the rest
No.
are lots.
CMJ Realty are all lots. What about Celia Way? Is that a building
that's our friend, Mr.
on Celia Way?
These are all the CMJ.
Oh, right. But that's just lots?
Yes.
Yeah, here, it's just that.
Okay, gotcha. Lots. I don't know,
It's a building.
I see that. Thank you. Okay. So I
No.
don't know how you want to approach this.
Oh,
The selectmen have been given the authority by the town to place this out to bid. Would you like to do that? I would take a picture of the home on North Lubec Road and maybe take a picture of the other two buildings. The rest are just dimensions of lots, and then I would just list
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
This lot number, map lot number, and when to get.
Put padlock on there too.
Yes, well, you should talk to Jim to know what
Jim,
to do
Jim
about
would know,
that.
yeah.
Because when did this go into effect? You want to find out when it's went into effect? 'Cause that's exactly when the padlock needs to go on, when it went into effect. And grab the referendum, please, thank you very much. I should know it too. The referendum? State referendum for 10%?
For what?
For what we're voting on?
The state referendum
The
on
state
13th.
referendum.
There's only one
you know what it
article on
is?
it.
On June 13th.
For the state referendum election that they're having up here.
I will win.
Well, we're gonna just find out right now what we're voting on.
What time? On the 13th?
Well, it's
No, what
voting
time?
all day. It's like regular
Oh,
voting.
okay.
Yeah, 8 to 8.
So, I'd say we take small little pictures out on the two with buildings and the rest is just a
Yes.
roster
Yeah,
of
there's
lots.
only,
Yes.
there's only 2 buildings.
Yeah,
And I know, and so how would
Okay.
So the
you,
rest is
how long
just-
do you wanna give people to put it in the next Quaddy Tides?
Yeah.
And then, when did we officially take over those buildings, Suzette, or the property? When did it officially go into, pardon me?
April 18th.
So we need to secure the property. And North Lubec needs to have a padlock on it,
The house.
the house. The other one,
Jim to go come and reassess it.
you asked him to go reassess it, but
Oh.
as soon as it became our property, we're liable.
Mhm.
We don't wanna be liable for people going in. Did you,
I think the Hilltop restaurant, that would run a danger being vandalized, I think.
Well, what's left of it.
Yeah, I
left of
know,
it.
and, you know.
we
it
can't
could be
really secure that, but I think the
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
one in
and
North
it's-
Lubec, you need to check
So
on.
we'll
Yeah.
Definitely. So, okay, very good. Referendum, what does that say? Yeah, I'll read it. Let me read it. Sorry, I actually have this memorized, people ask me and I have no idea. Do you favor a 50 million, zeros is that?
million.
$50 million bond issue to provide $45 million in funds for investment in research, development, and commercialization in the state to be used for infrastructure, equipment, and technology upgrades that enable organizations to gain and hold market share, to increase revenues, and to expand employment or preserve jobs for Maine people. Be awarded through a competitive process to Maine-based public and private entities, leveraging other funds in a 1-to-1 ratio, and $5 million in funds to create jobs and economic growth by lending to or investing in small businesses with potential for significant growth and strong job creation. Total estimated lifetime cost is $63,750,000, representing $50 million in principal and $13,750,000 in interest, assuming interest of 5% over 10 years. Yes or no? That's it.
That's the reference.
The only referendum.
There will be samples up around the town,
Yeah,
posted on
posted,
Friday.
yeah, good.
So it looks like it's for economic development. I can't say either way if it's good, but that is what we should be thinking about between now and June 13th. And it's always good to come out and vote and have a voice in your state elections. And this one will be held June 13th from 8 to 8. And we hope you all come out, because I know the girls up here work hard to put on a proper election. It's nice to have
And we
the vote.
thank our election workers
And our election
and our
workers.
warden that
And our
spends
warden.
our whole day.
Yes, and they are here. And bring donuts, no.
Back to town fire.
Yes, so do you want to put this out to, where would be the next Bloody Ties at?
Next Friday, right?
Is it next
Not
Friday?
this Friday, but next Friday. Yeah.
So the next Bloody Ties is
Tonight.
the 9th of June?
I have to get everything ready. Well, no, I have one, like Tuesday.
Yeah,
I got it.
Tuesday is the deadline.
Yeah, we just need to get a couple of snapping pictures. Well, if you can, I mean, otherwise it can go in the next Bloody Ties. I mean, we do have a budget. Assuming you can get it done, otherwise in the next Bloody Ties available.
Mhm.
But from when it goes in, how long do you want for people to have? 4 weeks?
Whatever's normal, I don't, I have no,
I think 4 weeks is
Mhm.
good, because then you can maybe get rid of some. It is really the height of this is the selling season. There's like
Yeah.
3 months of it.
it's
So
summer.
you want to
would be-
grab it while you have it. So you can always rerun the ad.
10 days is fine.
10 days for what?
For running.
I think a month is too,
Oh, you think a month's too long?
yeah.
Okay. You're right.
90% of the people are gonna come in and pay at least 1 year. So they're out of foreclosure.
I don't think we have that option anymore. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
we
that we
do.
not vote on that
They can come in
can't come
and,
in and it's done. It's now ours.
That
Lock and
property's
clear.
now ours, but say if my taxes weren't paid for 14, I could pay just 14, even though there's still a lien on 15, I owe the 16, but that.
Okay, but these tax
Partial
acquired
payment,
properties are totally owned by us. This is
And in order to
not
get
the
them
same.
back,
They cannot
There's no
come.
way.
In order to get them back.
They have to bid
pay
on
it
it
all.
themselves.
They have to pay, they would have to pay it all.
they'd have to pay it all.
14, 15, 16, and any fees incurred.
And the selectmen don't have to honor.
No, we don't have to offer to them.
Traditionally you have,
But
but you don't have
but
to.
An article on the.
it used to be that they could come in the very last day
That's right.
and pay for everything. But the very last day is come and gone, is it not?
Yes.
It's foreclosed.
Yep.
And Jim Clark is.
We could certainly, when you're opening up bids, but you're looking at the owner coming, okay, there's 3 bids out, and they come in and want to pay all their taxes. We are allowed to consider, I believe, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 in back taxes of 9,000. I don't think we have to give it to the owner anymore, correct? No. It's not, we're not required,
Lien law.
because it's been done, it's done, it's through foreclosure, and we own it.
Things have changed.
I believe that was an article in one of the last town meetings that we, because the problem was, it was very hard to market a bidding process on a tax foreclosed property if people bidding on it knew that the owner, after 3 years of
That's
not
right.
paying, could come in and say, okay, I've changed my mind. And so then why
that
you
used to
don't
happen.
get anybody to want to bid on a tax acquired property,
less
If they
options.
wanted to keep their property, they needed to come and work out a payment arrangement with Suzette beforehand, before they went into foreclosure.
Yeah.
Rattle this around.
Yes,
I know, that
we did.
happened,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the new lien,
Alright.
it has changed recently in the lien manual, it used to have to give the owner first option, but that's changed.
Mhm.
So you can give it to anybody, as long as they pay everything.
As long as
They-
they pay anything that.
They have to pay everything they owe.
And what's accrued, yeah.
So I guess what you're gonna have to do for each one, there'll have to be a minimum. Does that have to be in the paper, the minimum, or does it just have to be, we have to know what the minimum is? So every property will need to know exactly what's owed before, when we open the bids, we'll have to match it up with what's owed, or do we have to say minimum bid?
As
Yeah,
of,
I would think.
as of the date of that print, that was what's owed on those properties.
And that's not changing now. It doesn't
It
change,
changes every day,
because now the town,
Interesting.
Mhm.
I can go check right now.
but,
I'm not sure they changed.
but do you wanna have a minimum bid, or do you just wanna
That gives them an idea.
list it all and see what we get and see?
I think we listed all the two
Yeah, I think
first.
we
Yeah.
we'll try one.
Otherwise, you
You're
just
right,
get
Joanne,
lost
let's
in the
just do
weeds.
10
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Let's have it in for the next meeting, for the next select board meeting. So if you did the 9th, the next select board meeting would be not till the 28th. So that would still give them 1, 2
Because if you're
weeks.
gonna do it the way
So
you're doing it, then we might have to throw them all out and redo it all again.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
You mean,
If you
yes,
don't put a
because they
minimum
might,
bid on them,
you might
Right-
wanna
right
go
now-
and put a
right-
minimum bid on what everything's owed. Like
Why
if
don't you-
something is owed 9,350, put
Except-
9,500. It's
Except for the two houses, everything is just around the 2,000 mark,
I'd
so
say-
we want the
And old life
3,000
pretty much one
minimum,
person.
which I think we had,
Yes.
didn't we?
Oh, residential.
But you have to look at what it's owed and look at what it's assessed at. If it's assessed at 25,000, you're not gonna have them, oh yeah, the minimum bid could be 2,000, but you don't accept it, you're not gonna accept
your
2,000.
two properties with the value,
Right.
with the higher value should go
With the
out to a
building.
bidder. I mean, out to a
Realtor.
real estate agent.
Sure.
The lots or the
the ones with the
building?
building.
I'd
The
say
ones with
just
the buildings, I mean,
North
that-
other
that-
building's no good.
North Lubec Road one?
Yeah, that, I mean, you can't
Yeah, okay.
put the minimum bid on
I think
that.
you wanna list,
I would
you-
list that and list the other one with the broker.
okay, so who do you pick? I mean, I have to recuse
Whoever
myself,
you
you
can
can't pick
deal
me,
with.
so it's either
Huh?
gonna be
Whoever
one
you
or
can
the
will
other.
and deal with.
We've done that before in the past.
I mean, then these other lots can go for minimum bid.
Yeah, it's
That's
just-
no
And
biggie.
they
just land.
often, it's happened in the past with the realtor has donated that real estate.
Yeah.
I don't know,
If
that
we
was
went-
when the property was worth
We
ten
went with
thousand,
Debbie
I don't know
Holmes,
if
she
they
might
got an
donate her time.
assessed value of $191,000, I don't imagine they wanna try to, they have to advertise and market it, they're not
You
gonna
just
do it
wanna
for
try to
nothing.
go the first round of,
Why
Yeah,
don't
do
you
the
ask-
first
Why
round.
don't you
Just
ask,
us?
you could, but why don't you ask the two realtors in town to submit sealed
Burned down.
proposals of
They
what they're
should.
gonna charge the town and pick the better one. That's what I would suggest, and it's not gonna be me. So you pick, there's two others, and ask them to submit, or you can bring it out to
Just do it the way you're gonna do it, and then,
the bid.
and if it doesn't, if the bids
Then
don't
we'll
come in
list
high
it.
enough.
But you wanna list it with a competitive
That's what happened
commission.
with, you know, the property out on West Lubec, the Glidden.
Those bakery, yeah.
Yeah,
So which one?
we didn't accept the first offer was
Right.
not large enough.
Yeah.
Second time.
And the second time it came in.
so can we go through each property and I'll write down what the minimum
Mhm.
I
bid
think we
would be.
should.
Sure.
That's what I'm thinking we should do.
Yep. So the first one.
Account number, let's just make sure everybody's on the account numbers are listed at the very top in bold,
Mm-hmm.
273.
Mhm.
Taxes owed, 1,757.41.
Put 1,800 on it. That's what I would, on that,
Is
this
it
is what I'm
assessed at 23,000? And you're gonna put how about 2,000?
I'd say just, all the land ones are all around the same amount, just put a minimum of $3,000 on them.
There you go,
Yeah,
there you
maybe,
go,
that sounds good.
there you go. Sounds
Minimum
good to
of
me.
$3,000 on all of them, yeah. Because they're all assessed at 25. What's this one here? This one's different, Pumping Station Road. You might wanna do something different on that one.
That is just land also.
Just,
That's,
I would
not
make
bad.
that west. Joanne,
Yeah.
what do you want on
This is
Pumping
account
Station
number
Road?
570.
It's not a bad little spot, really.
Yeah, but 881, it doesn't need to be 3,000.
No, no, no.
You wanna make it lower for that
I'll
one?
make it 1,000.
1,000.
Okay, 1,000 for that one.
Nice little spots right on that road.
And the next one you're gonna put out to a realtor.
Well, no, we're gonna go with it.
Why don't you then come up with a minimum bid for that? You wanna make it 50,000?
What, this one?
The one on North Lubec Road is assessed at 191. I would say, just
Yeah,
free advice,
Yeah.
50,000.
Yeah, you know,
50?
yeah.
Because at least you're not holding on to the property that's gonna deteriorate. Road, right now it goes to road improvement until the new town meeting. Is that what we voted on last year? Good. We'll go-
Taxes owed are over 3,000 on account number 1733.
Where are we? Can I find any account number?
Where's the top and roll?
Oh, there it is.
I love you.
1733 is,
Please. And that's double the amount of assessment I'd make.
this
make
one has a
that-
building on it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The
Tavern
recycle
Drive. Is
center.
that this one gray
Yes.
building right over here?
Yes, it was,
Out
actually.
west of
No,
that.
that's
Oh, that one.
Crumbling.
Oh, what? That building is assessed at 32,000?
You used to have great pizza.
Oh, I used to work with, I used to make pizza.
What, how about you make it 5,000? How much is land in that?
.37 acres, .37.
So that's that
It'll cost them to
whole
take it
front
down.
area.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost me to take it down. You wanna keep it? Well, yeah, but we're gonna lose money. 3171, 35.
Well, if we're making it up on the
Great
rate.
recycle center.
Okay, I
Put in
don't know.
bid?
Somebody else come up with a suggestion.
5,000.
You know the
I
property
think
well.
5.
I
think we
said
were talking about
5, that's what I
yeah.
thought we should do.
I've written that down.
You're out here, there, you have a bid you got?
So account of 2009, we'll go with the 3,000.
Yeah,
2010, just keep it 3,000. They're all assessed at the same amount.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that takes care of them, right?
yep.
Now, do you have like little lot maps for all of these?
Right on the
Right on.
pictures.
Yeah.
Math block, right?
No, I mean a little,
Oh, they
So
will,
they
the
can
bid
have
packets
surveys?
will.
It will.
Take a picture of one tree and just.
Well, this has kept you busy, Suzette.
Yeah.
I'd say
Good
she's
job.
pretty busy, that,
Good
doing the
job,
budget.
Carol.
That one's a little bit more. I will hold on more.
One of these would be a nice little spot, for someone starting out.
Yeah.
A couple starting out.
They're all 3,000 except,
The
there's
other-
1,000 one on pumping station and what's this one here, Celia Way, that's 3,000 too.
Stay away. Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking. I mean, you did too? I was thinking enough.
What were you thinking?
So we're good on
Well,
this.
it's over, it's an acre,
Mhm.
and this little one here,
This
this
is done.
very first one, is a half an acre.
Okay. You finished?
Well, we
Moving on.
encourage people to bid on these, because it all goes into the road improvement fund if you want the
That's
roads
right.
fixed.
Yeah,
That's right.
sounds like a good idea to me.
Renee,
Yes,
it's all gonna be on the town website, right?
it will be. Maybe not
Yeah.
this week, there's a lot of them to do.
So,
but-
we need a motion to, approve of what we just agreed on.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Yep.
Well, getting some work done today. That's very good. Stockford Park activity permit. Okay, here we go again.
Yes. This is a
Brett sent
sample.
us a sample from another town of how they ask for park reservation application. So in this case, they're using, we have to pay for mowers to keep up the parks. We have to pay for the plumber to open and close the water in the bathrooms. We now have a stage there for musical events, and this would include the bandstand, the Flatiron Corner, and Stockford Park, but mostly Stockford Park, and that's up to you, the select board as a whole to decide if you want to have a fee for the permit, a no fee for the permit. Definitely they have to have insurance,
Mhm.
so I would say, let's do one park at a time. Stockford Park, I think there should be a permit fee,
Yes,
because they've got a lot going there in the overhead to the town.
yeah.
And we only have, what, 2 or 3? It's for an organized event.
Yeah.
I just am not for it. I'm, you know,
You just want the taxpayers to pay for the bathrooms and upkeep that, you know.
But they already are.
We've got to spend a lot of money on that stage.
But they already are.
There's only like two, well, it's Fred doing all his activities, and he's the one that suggested we have a permit,
At
so I don't know.
At least
I
a
mean-
security deposit.
Yes.
Okay, security deposit.
If we
Fred
were
is
to
the
have
one
a
that's gonna
music
be using it,
venue
and he
at
suggested that we
anywhere,
have
like
rules,
Pro Town or
regulations, and permits, so I don't
Well,
know, you know,
I
maybe
mean,
he should
for,
have been
for
here to
events,
present his
for
idea.
events that are, I mean, we're not talking like we're gonna have some sort of, and I don't wanna
We're not talking
age
about
myself, we're
family
not gonna have a
picnics.
James Taylor concert out there, but.
Or
so-
Woodstock.
But the
I'd love
insurance,
to.
oh,
Woodstock.
so,
Yes, that sounds
but
good,
the
let's have a
insurance,
Lubec too.
the insurance,
They have to have
mandatory
insurance.
insurance is enough as it is for some of these little things.
Yes, so
The
they
fact that the
just,
town already pays it, I either would do a
they have to have the
refundable
insurance.
deposit. But kind of that's what the insurance is. I think you could request a, how's it phrased, some of those sort of mandatory donations.
Just throwing that out there,
At will.
they
Yeah.
often
Goodwill.
need power, to use a power supply.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
And if you have a venue, I mean, if any music venue or anything, let's say at Crowtown, you still give Crowtown a fee to use that.
Yeah,
So it just makes sense.
I mean, especially at the park with the stage and the power.
Yeah, yeah.
So what event do
I-
you see that you think they're being
well,
overly
I'd rather
oppressed
see
by
if
permit
we
fees?
get, if we get like a 10-week
Joanne,
session, we could start charging, but there's nothing there now, so why?
well, I'm not quite sure why the person who's using it the most wanted this. I'm not quite sure. Fred Chappelle has been here to present why we're even discussing the permit
If
application.
it were a general public event, like school kids going down there to celebrate spring or
Well,
something.
obviously that would
That
not be
is,
included.
that
That's a
would
town
not be,
event.
that's a
It's
town
not
event.
any town event. It's
So a
some
town
else.
event you would not
Don't
do.
we have a church group that comes every year
I-
and uses it?
I wonder if,
The
Don't.
Pentecostals, yes.
I don't wanna hurt anybody's feelings, but I wonder if bringing this up is gonna mean that the people who are having the venue are gonna charge people to come watch that venue?
Well, maybe that's why this was brought up. Then maybe
Because
we
I am
need to
dead
table
set
this
against
to
that.
figure out what the motivation is.
I
Why
mean, we,
Fred asking us
I
for the
think a lot of
permit.
it
this is town property, you know, we wanna have fun, you know, wanna have a good time with the families, kids.
Well, that,
you know,
that's
He just
different.
wants some park rules,
Yes.
no alcoholic, no,
So how do we get this permit then?
That's what he supplied, that's what another.
Okay,
And
so
he
I think
generally
you're right. What is the
charges.
motivation behind requesting this? Because
Yeah.
everything was going just along fine, just requesting insurance when there was a big gathering,
Yes.
right?
So that's
Yeah.
already a big expense that they're having to
So I
Yeah,
agree,
and I can
but we
speak for
need to know
Fred.
who's
He-
there.
He has to pay the musicians.
So why would you wanna have another
Yes.
expense?
I don't know.
do. It's just some kind of regulations, a sign we
Yeah.
could post up there, but we don't have we don't have any regulations right now.
Well, maybe what it is he's got a schedule he has a schedule for when he's using that stage, and he doesn't want anybody to just decide they can go up and use it with that, willy-nilly without a schedule.
Yes.
We want a time
Yes.
limit, I mean,
Yes.
is there gonna be
That's
a rock
what
and
it
roll
is.
band down there till 11 o'clock at night, and the
Yeah.
neighbors?
You know, that would be really,
Just some kind of.
Why I think
vibe.
it's more important than we realize, because you have the neighborhood too.
my
But we don't have
suggestion,
anything in the existence.
my suggestion is that Fred comes back in the next meeting
And
and
yeah,
explains
and
why
I
he
agree,
wants
Yes.
this.
and
Okay.
explain.
And
Where
explain.
everything is,
Really,
if
yeah,
it's
and I
not
think-
broken, don't fix it. You know,
Renee,
what
I
is it,
think
don't fix
time
it, it
is
does
a-
not,
an
what's
issue
the
for
expression?
Fred to
If it
clarify.
ain't broke,
That it should not go back.
okay.
You know, we run these issues of curfew, fireworks, that kind of thing. The same should apply here. You can't have that noise. Okay.
So what that's,
Too bad.
yeah. So,
That's why they won't come up.
I don't know.
Charlie,
Okay, we're
just to
tabling that.
confirm, the Fred is Fred Pierce, right?
Yes, yes.
I think he's planning on doing some events there and have requested some kind of rules and regulations, but without him here, we really are kind of
Yeah.
shooting in the dark here, because everything's going around
I
just fine
agree.
without it. Okay, oh, and this is our very favorite thing. We got like a long and lengthy letter from a summer person who owns a property here, and I wanted to draw your attention to the, you know, you don't have, there's just the one page, you don't have to read the whole letter. I think you can read it later at your leisure. And I'll draw your attention to this one highlighted very section. The lack of any zoning and maintenance codes and the decision not to enforce national and state building codes prevents the town from moving forward in a positive manner. This is by Audrey Gross, give her credit. The enforcement of these standards would ensure a developer or investor that their property was protected from the type of neglect that is evident now on Water Street. So I was thinking,
Did you go back to 2015 and see if maybe we could rewrite what we attempted?
no, I think what we should do is put, if the select board has the authority to put on an article to be voted on at the town annual legislative meeting, to ask them if they would be interested if the majority would be interested in pursuing the formation of a committee to create such an ordinance that would address the constant maintenance issues that we seem to be having now with the older buildings. But I don't feel as though, and some things have done in the past, much work has been done on things that have never been passed. Why should we spin our wheels on writing something on a committee that the town is not behind? So my suggestion is we take our select board status and write an article of which the town will decide whether they would like to pursue a maintenance or, heaven forbid, a zoning ordinance for Water Street, and not the select board or economic development. That they bring it themselves for creation. And then the following year, they would have that they empower a committee to do that. And it needs to be a majority vote on the taxpayers. Because we can't make that decision for them.
Yeah,
in my
along
opinion.
with that, I mean, in tandem with that, the Economic Development Committee, of which we're here, member, have discussed this ad nauseum.
If
That
don't-
we, having to phrase it and rephrase it and not come up as if it's a threat to people who feel that the minute you pick zoning, you're gonna go in and tell them how to paint their walls. I mean, there is an absolute fear of zoning, and it's unrealistic. So I think what we had done is, on the Economic Development Committee, had suggested that we could focus on Water Street and say, moving forward, that if any building were to be built or any renovation were to be done, that it should be in keeping with the original historic status.
And I think that the town taxpayers need to decide if they even want anything at all, because the only time we ever had a public hearing on it, no one was interested.
I know,
So there's
it's,
no point in
there
thinking
seem to
about
be
it.
a select few people who are adamantly opposed to zoning as
But
if
we
it
don't know that
were.
until the town meetings. We don't know how
Yeah.
many people are for and how many people are against.
It's
up to
always
them
the
to
same,
decide.
Yeah.
if we do one,
Yeah.
then they're gonna be 100 following.
Yeah.
Which always needs to be voted on anyway, so
Yeah.
I never quite
There's
understood.
no point in putting the cart before the horse and doing any work on it and spinning anybody's wheels. Joanne, your opinion? Do you like the idea of letting the taxpayers decide if we
Any
should
type
go
of
forward
code
with that?
enforcement of zoning never went in this town, never, ever,
Right,
ever.
right.
But it was unforeseen. Now you have buildings that are seeable, that you can look and see
Right.
that they're destroyed and they need to
Right.
have some kind of help.
Something.
So you have Peacocks, you know, you have the grinding shed, and you have Mr.
Yeah.
Russ's.
Yes.
So you have 3 buildings that you can look at and see that
Well,
need some
and
kind of.
eventually-
And
well,
there's
you've
some,
got
and there's some
McGonagall's.
grumblings of some other buildings on Water Street as well.
You know, you
Right,
have
right.
But again, the
the old
emphasis,
Quaddy Diam.
the emphasis has got to be
That white
on,
building?
Oh, yeah.
You've got
yeah.
that white building that used to be owned,
the
used to be gas
emphasis has got to
station
be
on the
on
tail.
specifically
So you have
Water Street.
things that are viable,
Because
you can see
the
now.
problem that happened 2 years ago was that we did try to implement something for just Water Street, but the implication of the assumption was, next thing you know, Susie Smith on Jones Street is gonna get thrown out of her home because her house is falling
Right.
apart.
Right.
And I go back to, going forward, we said it's all in the phrasing, that it's, you have to phrase it in a way that is non-combative and non-threatening.
But I think also that the town has to understand, if you do something for Water Street, and then the implication is, oh, but now you're gonna make something up that every residence has got, that's gonna come to a vote.
Well, that would be a whole other.
Right, so
That would
that's
be a
another
whole
yes,
new
no
issue.
vote. To vote in one doesn't mean carte blanche for the
Yes,
next
yes,
100.
yeah. So that has to be
That
made very
has to be
clear.
understood,
Yeah.
because there's absolutely no reason why someone out of town, I mean, in town, but outside of, you know, the village, for instance, should be concerned if there's going to be some sort of ordinance on Water Street for, you know, being subject to, you know, landlords being efficient with the properties, and an upkeep or a maintenance of historical fashion or anything like that. There should be absolutely no concern of somebody living on North
right.
Lubec or something that it's gonna affect them.
I
That
think
would need to
also
be
So how do
explained.
we
it needs,
word
I
this? How
think
do
the
we
deal
go
at, well,
Well, we worked on it in the economic community.
I
We sat
think
around
we're
and we-
talking
yeah.
about two different things here. We're talking about the business district and Water Street, and we're also talking about dilapidated buildings, of which is one, as you're coming in across from the great apartments, Quaddy, it was the old McGonagall.
Quaddy Dolphin.
Quaddy Dolphin. And that's also a serious concern. And so how do we put pressure on absentee owners of commercial buildings that are now in disarray and are
Not being used.
not being used and tearing down the property values of the people that live in the town?
We raised
It's
their
not
taxes.
just Water Street.
Well-
There are other, there's that white building that's next, that's at the state dock. That is at some point going to be just as bad as the ones
Everything
we're
else.
looking at
Then they're
collapsing
upgraded
now.
to dangerous buildings.
Yeah.
Then I think maybe we're looking at two things here. We're looking
I
at,
think-
do we need rules on dangerous buildings? Or I'm more interested in the safety of the dangerous buildings right
Right.
now than I am in the looks of Water Street. I think
If
it's
kids
gotten
go
to
in
the
any one of
point
those buildings,
that the
they could fall
safety-
through, the roof
so,
came.
is it a dangerous building ordinance and not, you know, how it looks ordinance? 'Cause I
Maybe
think
that would
that's
be the
what they
way to
don't
go,
want.
dangerous building ordinance.
Yes, I think maybe that would be a better way to go, because I think all people are worried about dangerous buildings.
The problem is when you make a promise of taking or whatever action you're gonna take on a dangerous building, you need to have the funds to back, so they're not empty threats.
But you
Or
could start,
empty warning.
if you had started, when we had tried to do a fine if you didn't fix your facade, we started with a, you know, if you don't, basically it was like, if you don't have, if you have broken windows or something that was unsafe, we wanted that
And
fixed,
other
and that
towns
to go very
have
well.
building permits, there's a permit fee for everything, you can't even breathe in some
Yeah,
towns without
yeah.
getting a permit,
Yeah.
and those
And
funds,
I-
I'm sure, go towards those, but they
And,
don't have
and
it.
I think we had spoken before about Chicago or Boston, some of the larger metropolitan areas who are in urban renewal or upgrading or gentrifying. They go in and they seed the properties just like this, and they're with absentee landlords, and they raise their taxes. They are punitive ad nauseum until the person moves or does something. And I think that's what you have to do.
We'd have
I
to
mean,
talk to
Quaddy
Jim.
Dolphin has
Yeah.
sat there, it's been owned by someone,
Yeah.
and he shows no interest in doing anything.
Yeah.
And there's now
what are you
holes in the
talking about?
roof.
The
And
Dodge building?
I'm talking about the
Quaddy
Quaddy
Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Oh, Quaddy Dolphin, yes.
Yeah. And he doesn't, I mean,
There's
I
at
have not
least five.
seen him show up for anything.
Well, if there's a way that we could,
The Dodge building was
raise
busy.
taxes on abandoned dangerous buildings in the commercial area that affects it, that would in fact answer the question of not, and having to avoid any actual zoning. We
Right.
just attack certain dangerous buildings that,
Yeah,
for the
we'd have
safety
to
of the
get Jim
children.
involved in this
I
wholeheartedly.
think that's probably, because then the taxes could go toward fixing up the building.
That's right,
I think it's a good idea.
that's right.
But anyway, I think we need an article for the town to agree. I don't think we can word it today.
No.
I think we need to
The
table
economic
it for next
development was
time
well
and have
truly
Jim come
yeah.
and
It needs
give
to be done
feedback.
for all.
Can we recognize Miss Stephanie now?
Yes,
I think what you're talking about is nuisance conditions, and
Yes.
that's a legal term.
Yeah.
And it also applies to drug houses, where there's repeated drug activity confirmed. They can put nuisance conditions on that and eventually take it, because you have, you know, $10,000 fine the first time and $50,000 the second time, and then you just own it. And that's where it takes care of that problem, because you have nuisance conditions, because
Yeah.
it brings down everybody else's value.
Well, and I
It's dangerous.
like
That's a
that
good
idea
point.
because it's proactive on the town's part, and it means revenue for the town.
And it's nothing against
They
anybody
pay it.
else.
Or they can get rid
They
of it.
don't pay it, oh,
Yeah.
then they give it to us, and back to what Renee said, then we're stuck with a very serious building in the, down on Water Street. We did get a new quote for 96,000,
For,
fixing the back of the old, formerly known as Peacock Canyon
96,000.
What the,
to fix
House.
it.
Unsolicited, to take it
Tear it
all
down.
down except the front building and to EPA regulated and
When
And
when
they
is
say
the
that-
deadline? You gave them an
So
extension.
take it,
didn't you?
write it up.
July 31st.
Hmm.
Well, that's another article, that's another issue, but it's, at least
That's-
it's not 170. But it, you know, of course, it would have to go out to an actual professional bid if we took it over.
one kid goes back there,
Any,
Now, is
Well, that's the
They're done.
problem.
that just a,
It would have to be immediately
there's
fixed.
a well,
We'd have to-
there's a well back there?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
have to be roped off, it would have to be gated off just like they did in
they've
the
all been in,
brownfield.
they've been in there, kids have been in there rolling around,
Well,
running
it's
around.
Unfortunately,
It's-
not our property right now.
Dee and Karen and I and Abby, we spent half our day
You know,
down
but see, once again, the Peacock building is owned by a conglomerate in New York. That, it's not like you're talking about some poor little couple who are making ends meet. And they're just playing the waiting game with us, and that's what ticks me off.
So that's when we need to go to the dangerous building.
Yeah.
That's why we have to have, I believe, a Danish building. Maybe we can do it with, like you said, nuisance, because that's also a nuisance.
Yeah.
It's dangerous and a nuisance. So we'll table this, we'll put it on the agenda for next time, and maybe we can have Jim come in and
Have
get,
Jim
see
come in,
what,
yeah.
what we can do, what are our alternatives. Okay, and on a lighter note, we have some good news, believe it or not.
You brought
54
refreshments?
54 Water Street is the old Dodge building, and there is a, not to mention who is the person himself, it's going to be purchased by somebody new. The
Oh,
person who purchased it originally was in an accident, allowing him not to do the repairs he wanted. But someone new has come on the scene and they want to restore the building, use all the beams, cornices, and other wooden components as is possible to reuse. And the new structure would generate a curb appeal enjoyed by both summer visitors and locals, and that they would plan to set up a business that may provide employment opportunities for the local community. And this has just happened the last couple of days. So
I love that.
we're hoping to see some real things happening, and they want to see, they don't believe it's totally restorable, but they want to reuse everything they possibly can. And they're going to be working along with the planning board
good.
on getting that
Great.
done.
Very
So,
good.
Do they have any plans for the building when it's done?
well, that's all we know right now.
Oh.
Yes, they said they weren't
They
gonna
should
start a
ask me
business.
Ideas.
No, so that was just informational. Committee updates, oh, Lubec Conservation there will be a Lubec Conservation for the Clammers on Saturday at 12:30 at Huckins Point out in Straight Bay from 12:30 to 4:30. It is the last conservation that you can attend and get your conservation credits for this year. There will be no more conservations until the following year, and the licenses go on sale July 3rd, and there'll be an ad in the Friday Tides on the availability of the licenses and what we charge. Committee updates? Tony,
All the boards are on at 6 o'clock.
Joanne, got any committees?
The down ECMS, June 26th, 4:30, then it gets all.
Rachel? Now, we really need to do something about getting some more people on recycling.
Yes, I think,
So you guys have to go out and,
all
you
right,
know,
I-
prospect.
one person already, okay? And we also talked about getting a student in from school.
Oh, did you get a new person?
I think Denise is going to contemplate it. Denise will,
She is?
News to me.
yeah, okay. She'll tell you.
Oh,
But our next recycle meeting is going to be on the 16th of June. It's going to be at 5 o'clock here. And so it's not to conflict with the,
Yes.
what's going on that day? Historic Society is doing dedication.
Open house.
Yeah, so
Twelve
they're,
to 2.
12 to 2,
Mm-hmm.
what time, what day?
The 16th.
June 16th?
yeah. So Kenny, Mike and I decided 5 o'clock, since there would be lots of leftover activity at the Historic Society.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, will be, Dan,
I
are we
think,
following
I
up?
think recycling is the 6th. I'm not sure.
Cycling, you mean
I mean,
RFL, RLF.
I have the 14th.
13th, it's usually, isn't it the Tuesday before the Wednesday? That'd be the 3rd?
The
That's
13th.
the 14th,
No, that's
13th.
13th.
that's the 13th.
That's
RLF,
election day.
Oh,
but you can't do it that day.
alright, so we'll move it to Wednesday the 14th,
What time?
3 o'clock.
We have Safe Harbor meeting at 5 o'clock on the 14th. Select Board, of course, on the 14th, and there is a final Shellfish meeting on the 12th of June for anyone who needs their meeting credits, and that will be at 6, and the 12th, I think. Honey Layton will be there if you have any questions for her. And Economic Development, Rachel, do we have another time for that, or?
No, we'll do it pretty quickly, though, I think, because we have lots to talk about.
Well, I have it down for June 28th.
That would have been the next meeting, that may be a little too long, or is that okay to do?
28th is good with me. I've got many meetings and we have budget
I
meetings.
know,
when I'm done.
it's like, I don't wanna last that long, but we're packed.
It's a marathon.
Yes.
TV is the 4th, the 28th.
All
When
right.
is the marathon? Let's have
It's
it,
the 25th,
marathon's on the 25th.
yes.
Election day's on the 13th.
All right, let's go with the 28th, and we'll do it 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5.
Quad TV's at 4. And there's a selectmen's meeting that night,
Yeah,
What are you doing?
on the 28th.
economic development.
It's at 5, yes. That's fine, that's what
Quad
I'm
TV's
doing.
at 4.
Mhm.
Also, I'd like to thank the American Legion again for a wonderful
Yes, Dan and I had a very
Memorial.
lovely time.
ceremony, Memorial Day is
We
always.
went to all the veterans,
You know, she did such a nice job and.
Oh,
the
and,
speaker.
who's that one that does the benediction? What's his name?
Matt, what?
But,
Gary?
Gary what?
Gary Look.
Yeah.
He said, well, I'm not sure I'm gonna stay with the schedule, and I'm gonna tell a little story, and then I'm gonna sing. And he sung the battle hymn of the Republic. It was
Oh, my goodness.
fantastic. A cappella. in
Really?
Portuguese.
He's a really good
Yes,
guy.
really good.
Fantastic.
Thank the
And
American
then
Legion.
he shows up at the coast, then all of a sudden he's down in the boat. And now, how did he get on the Coast Guard boat? I like
Thank
that.
them for taking the flags out to all the veterans' graves, the
Yeah.
American Legion.
Yeah.
So
That's
they
the
do,
one.
Yeah.
they do a great job every year, but it was.
This Mike Sawtelle is the commander this year.
Yeah. There is another thing, and I don't know whether, I guess I can talk about this. The Women's Club celebration
Yes.
of 100
Yes.
years is Saturday from 2 to 4 at the Christian Temple,
This Saturday, right?
this Saturday. And
Well,
they do a lot of good things.
and do you have any committees that we missed?
The Quad TV, we said it June 28th.
I don't know, did we not want to say something about whoever is the selectman liaison to the committee
Should have
is
made it today.
responsible?
Who is that?
All the committees in general.
All the
Yes,
committees
all.
in general, if you are the liaison
Liaison.
to the committee, it's up to you to keep the committee
On task.
chairman notified of the dates, and the secretary, if there is one, to
You're the what?
to, it's called the liaison. Every committee has to have a,
It's like Lee said that.
Liaison.
Yeah.
Like she's French.
so that
Thanks, Secretary.
Renee cannot keep on top of all of the committees as being the town clerk, the road commissioner, and the town administrator. So we like to help her
Yeah.
out, so if we're going to keep any committee going, then the select board liaison will be the delegated responsible person for that committee, and if it gets to be too much for the committee, then committee goes. I mean, then we can't have the committee, because we can't dump it all on Renee.
Of course not.
She's very busy. They're doing a great job, I might add.
She-
All right, how about a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
And we do have one executive.
Public
Is that for the,
comment?
oh, yeah, public comment, sorry.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm Dennis Gallagher, we live over here at 66 Main Street. Just wondering, is the town going to restore the trash barrel at the boat landing this year? The great big ugly trash barrel that we fill every morning, seems like?
Sorry, which, at the boat landing, you know, I think it's so rubbish put one out last year, did they not? And they were planning on going by and picking it up nearly every day. Is that the one you're talking about?
The one at the boat ramp?
The one at the
Going
boat
down
ramp,
right
it
out
used to be
Cisco
metal,
Hill.
and I remember what it was last year.
There should be a no-so.
There isn't one there?
No, sir.
That was in their contract.
Yeah,
All right,
it was in
well,
their contract.
thank you for
Yes,
bringing
there
that, yeah, it
should
should be there.
definitely be one there.
Yeah, it'd be great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, Judy,
Can I make an announcement on behalf of the library?
absolutely.
Oh, all right. We have had a lot of our citizens in town besieged by telephone calls from people who claim to be other than who they really are. The IRS call is one that's been talked about quite a lot. We are hosting a meeting tomorrow, Thursday, June 1st, at the library.
What
at
time?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock?
At 1 o'clock. And everybody is invited. The sheriff will be there. We don't expect law enforcement is going to solve this problem, but the sheriff has received a lot of calls about it and has some things to say. So the goal is to let the people who have been receiving these calls know a little better about how to handle them. We can't make them stop, but we can make them stop hurting. So that's the goal. It's tomorrow at 1 at the library. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stephanie? Yeah, we were, there's something else we were gonna say. Yeah, what was the next Okay, so we have like a 5-minute executive session on a real estate transaction. That, after we adjourn. And then go into
So we are
executive
adjourned.
session. And
Well,
we're
we're
making,
staying.
I'm making a motion to go into executive session pursuant to
One MRSA 405.
C6C, which is real estate.
You want one of these, honey?
Of what
You
letter?
want-
The letter where the gentleman was talking
Yeah.
about
Okay.
the building issues.
Okay, there,
The woman or the woman here?
The woman, okay.
The woman.
Oh, the woman here.
yeah, but you probably just want, you need to give him just the town issues one, because the other one is addressed
Here.
to the Lubec landmarks.
I don't want anything from Lubec.
Well, there's 2 sections.
Here, I took it right here.
Okay.
Yeah,
What is that?
That's the second
That's the
page.
whole letter.
Oh,
That's the whole thing. Give them the
I would
second page back.
encourage you.
That's the whole
it's
thing. Thank you.
214.
Also, is there a date, the first party request for the warrant?
That's all.
All done.
We all did those.
Oh,
What was the, what?
Now, I'm with
I
Glenn.
don't
The
recall the
library.
library.
Well, you know
We've
what,
already
we
been
took care of the
done.
library.
We got the 4,000.
You got your money on
Okay,
that
thank
budget,
you.
not to worry, we knew you,
All
we
done.
love the library, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
All done.
And then go into executive session for the record.
And then we reopen it, yes.